A smartphone for $229. It's an unbelievable price, and it's being unveiled today by online electronics giants Kogan. So how does it compare with the other rivals on the market? Well, to take us through it and to compare them all is our resident tech expert, Charlie Brown.
Morning.
Charlie, it's so cheap. How does it compare? Is it going to work?
Yeah, look, it's actually, when we used this over the weekend and reviewed it against iPhone and Samsung Galaxy S5, which is two of Australia's most popular handsets at the moment, you keep expecting to think that you're going to be disappointed with it, but you're not. I mean, as long as you walk into this experience with the expectation of, look, it's under $300, you're going to be quite happy with it. One of the things about this phone which is quite good is that it's already configured and ready for Telstra's new 4G network that rolls out at the end of the year, and Optus has got a new 4G network as well. So if you buy this phone now, it will work on these next generation networks that are coming soon. The other thing to remember about this phone is a lot more people are starting to buy phones outright these days, rather than going on a plan. We're still getting about 80 to 85% of Australians buying phones on a plan these days, which means that you pay that phone off over the 2-year life of the plan. With this one, it's $230 outright. We did an analysis of buying this phone outright and putting it on a plan, and for 2 gig of data, all your calls you want to do, and looking at a purchase of an iPhone and a Galaxy over the 2-year period. And this Agora phone was about $500 cheaper over the 2-year period. So it is a cheaper option out there if you're looking for that.
But what about how it operates? Is it going to operate as quickly? Does the battery life last?
So what you need to think about with this phone is, if you're looking at the Agora screen and then you look at the Samsung screen, what you notice is that the Agora screen is actually less bright, straight out. So that's a couple of things. When you're thinking about this Agora, think about some of the features that have come to the Samsungs and the iPhones over the last couple of years, like fingerprint scanning, the Samsung's waterproof, that's come in the last year or so. Take them away. Remove them. They're not in the Agora phone. But the other thing to remember is, although the phone is cheaper and the screen isn't quite as bright and the process is slower, at the end of the day, it will still operate pretty well as a smartphone. It just won't operate as well as these high-end phones, but you're not paying for that.
So it might not be what the tech heads out there are after, but at $229, it's about $600 cheaper than its rivals.
Exactly.
Surely that's going to make an impact on the market.
It is, and what's exciting is that, you know, I love seeing activity at the top end of the market, but now this is more activity at the bottom end, at that lower price. There are other handsets out there at $300 and $280 that we've also written a review on cybershack.com today, so people can compare those. But what's interesting about this Agora is, if you buy it outright now, it is a cheaper option. It will do the bulk of what you want to do as a basic smartphone. The battery, I know you've had issues with your iPhone battery. The battery lasted for us at least a day in testing, so that should be okay. It'll run most of the apps that you want to run. One thing about it, though, is the camera is a little bit of a letdown. So if you're taking it on holidays, I would take the phone and a separate camera with you.
So it falls down in the selfie category.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I know. Yeah, a little bit.
Well, do you think Apple should be worried?
I think that Samsung and Apple are working pretty hard on that high end of the market. They're selling buckets of phones. Look, Apple's kind of got $160 billion in the bank now. They're doing pretty well, mainly because of the success of iPhone. I think Kogan's going to do quite well out of this. They've always been a market disruptor. This phone's not going to... Look, I was thinking about whether you give this phone to kids. If you're going to do that, make sure you install a really good parental control app onto it, because smartphones and kids, you know, there's some issues there with that. Parents need to decide whether their kids are ready for a smartphone. But look, it's not a phone that I'd stay away with.
At the rate that we go through our mobile phones, though, cheap is good, surely.
Absolutely.
Charlie, we appreciate your insight. Thank you.
Thanks, Julie.